You don't have an attention problem. What you have is an overload problem. Every ping, every notification, every tap switch is splitting your brain's focus circuitry and it's robbing you of precious energy because oftentimes we're multitasking and we think that multitasking is something that the brain can do, but the brain can only focus on one thing. And every time that we split our attention, we drain a really valuable resources, and our brain, in a sense, has to restart, reboot every time that we shift our attention and we come back. But here's the truth: attention is trainable. If you feel like you have attention deficit, you can have pinpoint laser focus. You can rewire your brain for a super powered brain that's highly focused and able to do more in less time. Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Ramos, Yale trained neuroscientist. I'm the creator of Zen Brain Academy and the author of The Art of Stress-Free Living and Insight.com. And in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you. Let me open up a presentation here real quick. I'm going to be teaching you how to train this brain to laser focus, even in a distracted world. Remember, the digital age is more distracted than ever before. And so I want you to realize that your brain is like a muscle. Anything that you're not good at, you can improve over time. And attention is an example of this. The thing is that if I train my attention to be multitasking, to need really engaging stimuli to pick up my attention, in essence, what I've done is I've rewired my brain and changed my neurochemistry. My neurochemistry now depends on this type of stimuli to stay locked in. But remember, whenever you're doing deep focus work, your nerve cells are synchronized. Your hemispheres are operating, brain regions are operating in favor of each other, not like when you're multitasking where they're in opposition of each other. Our brain often is very fragmented, and this leads to a very frustrated life that's draining my energy, draining my productivity, and impacting even my stress levels and my sleep. And so it's very important for us uh, to do this, to be able to realize that multitasking is a myth, that your brain isn't really designed for constant shifting back and forth. Every time that you do this, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain behind your frontal lobe, is burning energy and neurochemicals that are important for motivation, for drive, for focus. And therefore, what's going to happen after a while? I'm going to feel mentally drained. I'm going to feel worn out. I'm going to feel unfocused. I'm not lazy. I'm just overloaded. So, whenever you switch out of multitasking, you go into a deep work cycle. Your brain shifts out of this noisy beta state and more into a state that's aching to dreaming, to just waking up, where you're feeling really relaxed, you're focused, and you're able to deliver. You're not being distracted, you're not being overburdened and starting to drain capital because of that constant switching. So, in reality, this deep work cycle goes through, it's like it goes through these different phases of initial resistance, and then we go into the deep work cycle, and then it leads to reward. Once I see what I've done in those 90 minutes, I feel good. I take a break, I recharge, and I go back for another round if I'm still working. But inevitably, there will always be an initial state of resistance that must be overcome. To find your flow, you need to develop a routine where you're focused deeply for 90 minutes. I teach this in my Turning Stress into Flow module in Zen Brain Academy. I actually have a class that's called Finding Your Flow. Once you do this for 90 minutes without switching, you turn off notifications, you're not checking emails, none of that stuff. Your phone isn't ringing or buzzing. Your brain will shift into the flow state and into this alpha theta rhythm that we often only experience in sleep. And this is the state where you're going to learn more, do more, be more creative. You don't need to be working longer hours. What you need is less distractions and to be able to have these focus blocks where you are more productive and then you take your breaks in between. You You lock in for 90 minutes and then your micro practice. Lock in for 90 minutes, micro practice. You could even go shorter, 30 minutes, 60 minutes. That's even more advisable, but don't go longer than 90 minutes. It's kind of like a Pomodoro style practice. Distraction proof is a good ritual to do. You do one focus block, you gain momentum, and then you move to the next thing. So, for example, if you do the 30-minute version, you pick one task and you do it for 25 minutes, no distractions, no notifications. After that, the timer goes off, take a 5-minute break, stretch, breathe, do mindfulness, step outside, get some sunlight. 4 rounds is going to equal one deep cycle. You could also, if you cannot do this kind of 25-5, then you could go the 90 minutes, but I really wouldn't suggest going longer than that. Really, you can always set your schedule where even if there's a meeting, work around the meeting, have a break before and after the meeting, let's say, if the meeting is a long meeting, and so on and so forth. Find a way to change your schedule so that you're more focused, you're draining less energy, and you're finding more time for your well being. Again, you don't need more time. What you need is better attention management. And I can help you in Zen Brain Academy is the digital age mastermind, unlike anything you will find anywhere in the digital space. I'm a neuroscientist. I teach this neuroscience of focus, how to retrain your brain for deep work, effortless productivity without burnouts, without mental health problems, without long-term issues. So you can reclaim your attention, but you have to start today. And in essence, that will allow you to reclaim your life, reclaim your time, your energy, your money, etc. Join Zen Brain Academy today. I hope to see you on the other side. Take care. Stay Zen.